Over the last few weeks, I've had so many women reaching out to me who are at a crossroads and wanting to create a life of more ease and more freedom, but they are absolutely terrified to do it all on their own. And I can relate to these women so well because honestly, this is exactly where I was about 2 years ago. And I knew that I was being called towards something other than what I was doing, but I was so afraid to take the leap. Ultimately, due to issues around my health and just coming to terms with the fact that I wanted to do something different, I wanted to live differently, I decided to take the leap and I left my career about 2 years ago, right? One of the main reasons that I am showing up online right now is for women like you who can absolutely relate to this story of being at a crossroads in life. And so, one of the reasons I have started this channel was to be a safe place for women that are at this phase in their life to come and to be inspired on what it would look like to, in fact, step out, trust themselves, and lean into something different. One of the biggest concerns that the women have is how will they support themselves, right? Because likely you'll be stepping away from a career that's all you've known. Like I was in the finance space for well over 20 years and really didn't have an identity outside of my career. I wasn't married, I don't have any kids, but I poured everything into my career. And so it's really all I knew until I realized that, I wanted to do something different. I didn't know what that different thing was going to be. Like, no idea. I knew I wanted to help women. I knew that I wanted to help them with their finances because that's a big deficit that I've come across when working with different clients or some of the people that reach out to me. Those are the inquiries that they have. But I really hadn't thought much past that, wanting to help support women and help and support them in their finances. What I was able to do once decided to step away was to create a more well rounded picture of what that looked like. And part of it was one, being able to do that from anywhere in the world. And two, I'm going to talk to you about the two things that I'm going to do in order to generate income from anywhere in the world. And some of the things I'm doing to support me in that goal, right? One of the things that I really want to drive home as part of these videos is that I am literally doing this by the seat of my pants. I am not an influencer. I am not that social media savvy. However, I know that in order to get to the goal that I want, which is to be time free, which is to be location free, and to be financially stable, I need to step outside of my comfort zone. And this is what it looks like to step outside of your comfort zone. So let's get back to the topic at hand. The two things that I've decided that I'm going to lock in on for the next 12 months in order to create in order to create income streams while I am traveling are one, what I'm doing now, which is creating YouTube videos, and two, creating digital products. So when it comes to the YouTube videos, based on a lot of the research that I've been doing, YouTube still has a lot of room for new creators. In fact, they are incentivizing new creators to get on the platform. The other thing that I've researched about YouTube in terms of what people are searching for are the demographic of where we are, the demographic I'm talking to right now, which is the demographic of 40 to like 50 something ish year old women. That's where that's going to be the fastest growing demographic of people that are on YouTube. And so, there's ever a better time to get in, for those two reasons alone, I would say the time is now. And it is not going to be easy, ladies, as evidenced by me. These videos are not going to be perfect to start, but my goal is to get them to a place where I'm so much more comfortable being in front of the camera. And I want you to look at my journey as something that you can see yourself doing as well. And the second thing that I will be working on over the next 12 months will be to build out my digital product offerings. The fact is, ladies, there are things that we've accomplished throughout our lives that is valuable to someone. We just need to work on finding who those people are. And and being on this platform is just one of the ways that I'm going to find those people, in addition to getting better with being on social media and building out a presence. Again, not something that I know how to do naturally, but I am learning how to build that muscle. And so when I say social media platforms, I mean Instagram, I mean Threads, I mean TikTok and Facebook. Those are the four social media platforms that I am going to be also investing time and energy in order to find what I like to refer to as my 1,000 superfans. And for those of you that are familiar with the 4-hour work week, this concept essentially speaks to the fact that once you find your 1,000 super fans, these are the people that are going to rock with you until the end of time. And so there are billions of people out there in the world, and we just need to find our 1,000. I encourage you to read that book. I will put a link to the description I will put a link to it in the video description. A lot of what was talked about in that, a lot of the concepts that were presented in that book is really what helps to inform the life that I'm building now. And again, that the name of that book is The 4-Hour Work Week by Jim Farrell. I'm sorry, Tim Farrell. I'll put the description in the link. Right. So to summarize, the two main things that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be very intentional about maintaining and growing my YouTube channel. And two, I'm going to create digital product offerings for my audience. So those are the two things that I'm going to focus on. Now, how am I going to accomplish all those things? Well, for me, the thing that I know best about myself is that I I'm able to execute better. One, because I'm self-motivated, and so I really, really enjoy learning new things. That really, that really is something that if I'm learning for me is fun. So I know that I can be self-motivated in the learning part. What I also enjoy and appreciate with how I learn to do things and grow is that I do best when I feel supported. And so one of the things that I will be doing as well is when it comes to pursuing this very amazing lofty goal that I have over the next 12 months is that I'm going to engage with finding support via community and coach. I know sometimes people feel like they need to do everything by themselves. I don't necessarily take that approach. I always feel like I can go further faster if I get the exact type of help and support that I'm looking for. And so investing in a coach is one of the things that I do in order to help me achieve my goals. I like having sort of like the accountability partner, as well as being able to just build a community and have a group of people that
There's been
support
so
you.
much that I've
And so when
learned,
it comes to
and
this
I know that I
YouTube
can help
venture, my
other
goal is
women
to
on their
also help
journey
support
towards
women that want
creating
to do the
online
same thing,
income.
because
For those
I've
of
been
you
at this
that
now
have
for
stuck with
about
me and are rocking with me
7
through this
months,
process, I just want to
and
say thank
I
you.
there are
And
things that
if you are interested in any other things or want to get in contact with me, just feel free to check out my video description. Cheers, guys. I'm going to see you later.
that will help support me in the goals that will. So the second thing that I'm going to do as part of my 12-month goal is I am going to engage in community and resources and coaches that